Good evening and welcome to Spa-Francorchamps. You join us tonight for round 10 of the Invictus F1 Performance League. We are here, of course, for the Belgian Grand Prix. Certainly, drivers will be looking forward to the challenging 4.3 mile 19 turn track with formidable turns such as Eau Rouge, Rivage, Lecum and, of course, not forgetting Blanchimont. But a quick introduction to my partner in crime, as always. Good evening, Malk. How are you this evening?
Hello, Craig. I'm very well, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. My wrists have recovered from last night's No Assist League, the monsoon race. And I'm sure that the Formula One Performance League will be hoping that it's not a repeat of last night.
Yeah, hopefully it's not going to be that bad as this from last night. But as you said, my wrists were completely gone after all that stuff. So it's just intense moments on that one.
Yes, certainly a very challenging race last night. And I think we've just got to emphasise what was said earlier on social media and Twitter. Could we have 10 different race winners tonight? We have 9. Could we have 10?
It's the first we ever done that before, if we ever did that. But as I said earlier in Twitter, people who don't have Twitter or anything like that, out of the 12, 12 drivers, Craig, 6 of them from the top 12 have not won the race yet, even including Betrayer, who's in the lead in the title race. So I don't know. It's going to be very interesting moments tonight, Craig. How about you? Do you think we'll get the 10th winner, or do you think someone will break that record, as in 9, that's it?
I think this is the first time we're going to see a double race winner, and I think my favourite for tonight will be MJ Coupe in the Ferrari. He's been very impressive in the Red Bull, and he's got a little bit of a promotion tonight in the Ferrari, and certainly he's going to have the straight line speed going up Kemmel Straight and Blanchimont. So a big advantage for MJ Coupe, but it is a tough grid. We've got some very capable and quick drivers tonight. So I don't think it's going to be a straightforward one, but I think he has got a strong advantage.
Yeah, yes, definitely. Oh, Craig, it's not a monsoon, but we might have dry.
Yeah, it's looking a little bit overcast, so certainly dry at the moment. We're certainly waiting for information coming from the pit lane to see what the conditions are going to be we're going to be facing in the race. So the big question is it going to be dry or is it going to be wet? The race is going to be dry, wet, then dry. So that is an update from the pit lane from Rossi. So changeable conditions. The unpredictability of Spa is predictable, if that makes sense. So yes, we were predicting unpredictability at Spa, and we've certainly got it this evening. And we're just going to wait for the first cars to come out and track. It looks as if Mercedes is preparing. No, sorry, apologies. That is the Red Bull. So Red Bull early on track. And that's followed by a McLaren. That could be Core Tactics, currently in second, just behind championship title, our championship leader, Betrayer, on his return to the Performance League.
Yes, he's done well, to be fair, Craig. Out of nowhere, as I said earlier, he's the only one out of the 6 people. He's the only one who's leading has not won a race before. Have we ever got a situation where someone's won the league title without even actually winning the race?
I don't actually recall off the top of my head, but it is possible because you just have to remain consistent. And it's something I've always said, you don't need to win races to win championships. You just have to be consistent. He's going to have a tough night tonight in the Toro Rosso. So he is currently on the ultra soft tyre. Not the normal strategy that we see from Betrayer. We usually see him going on the harder tyre and then opting for the quicker tyre late on in the race. but as informed from the pit lane, we are going to have changeable conditions.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'd like to see how they would have done the monsoon that we had last night. So it would have been a good, interesting moment. But just before we carry on, Craig, I just want to say good evening to Lance Stroll. He says, hello, guys. Hello, Lance. How you doing? I hope you're okay and well, and hope you enjoy the stream tonight. As we were saying, Craig, about the track Belgium. I mean, do you like the track overall? Do you think...
I like it when it's dry. I like it when it's dry, but don't get me wrong, last night's race certainly learned the most about no assists, how the car behaves in tricky conditions, and more importantly the necessary setup just to maximise traction and grip. But no, I thoroughly enjoyed it. A few mistakes last night, but in the dry, this track is something else, especially Eau Rouge. In last year's game, it was a bit tricky to go flat out through Eau Rouge, but certainly this year, no complications, and it's flat out all the way as Core Tactics comes up Kemmel Straight, up to the end of Sector 1, comes through Lecombe, that challenging left, right, then right again. Certainly a tricky part of the track, coming down the hill through Rivage, hugging the apex, coming down to that left hand turn in the run down to Pouillon. He's got traffic slightly ahead, but he's got enough gap not to pick up the dirty air. Oh, it's Nitrogash. Oh, I think that's...
Oh no!
Oh, he's crashed out. It's Eau Rouge. He's possibly bottomed out on the curb and actually went straight on into the barrier on the right hand side of Eau Rouge. So disaster early on for Nitrogash. Is Mike currently waiting on track, just allowing the traffic to pass. And Spud lights up the rear tyres coming out of La Source. And that will certainly compromise the pace that he can take up through Eau Rouge and the Kemmel Straight, as he is on his hot lap. But Sir Spud, not too much damage done as he is on this soft tyre.
Yeah, I'm just watching Betrayal now, Craig. He's the championship leader of the Performance League. Notorious has got the fastest lap. No, Core Tactics has got the fastest lap at 147.3. But when we see Betrayal now coming up to the last few corners now.
And that's a good lap from the McLaren driver, but Nick Thompson just jumps up in the Renault and takes a 146.
Betrayer just misses up by 4/10.
Yeah, so the top two drivers in the championship separated by 0.3 of a second. Game on.
Whoa, Meg Lumpy. Oh my god. On the super soft tyre, he's about 0.6 off Nick's, but that's a good lap from the super soft tyre point of view.
I'm just watching fast going coming round the bus stop chicane in the Ferrari.
Whoa!
And up and pole breaks a 1 minute 45 barrier. So first driver to put it into the 45s fast going. But where's MJ Coupe? And the other Ferrari coming up through Blanchimont approaches the bus stop chicane, hugs the apex to the left, gets it tight on the left hand turn, puts the power down early. DRS open.
4, 5.
Oh, it is pole! It is pole by 0.6 of a second for MJ Coupe. But Mike currently on the super soft tyres in the Haas. Oh, I think that as he comes round Pouillon, he runs wide slightly, comes back in to hug the apex. There's traffic ahead. Will he get out the way? It's Notorious. Oh, I think Mike was possibly distracted there as he ran wide in turn 12 and 13. So not perfect apex kissing moves there.
No, you're right there, Craig, because Mike, he has got a bit of a slower time on sector 2, which may not be good for I reckon it'll be about 48s, 49s. Possibly.
Yeah, he ran wide at the first phase of Pouillon as well, and he would have had to have lifted just to bring it back under control. I don't think he's going to light up the timing boards, and it's a 148.1, and that puts him in 9th.
Yeah, he's putting him in 9th, but I'm watching Nicky now. He's coming up to the bus stop chicane in a bit. This may do it. 40, 41. I always go to the pits.
Yeah, possibly a mistake on the hot lap. As we wish Saab a good welcome on his return from the Australian Grand Prix, currently in the Williams this evening, and on his outlap, should I say, with 4 minutes remaining in the session. So Saab might only get one bite at this, one attempt at qualifying.
Yeah, I'm just watching Giuseppe doing his outlap at the minute now, coming up to the bus stop chicane now.
Yeah, just warming up the tyres. He's approaching the final braking point as he turns into the bus stop chicane, warming up the tyres, warming up the brakes, putting the optimising temperature in both brakes and tyres as he turns round the final corner onto the start-finish line, hoping for the best start or best traction out of that final turn, coming round turn 1, so coming round with source, hoping to get the pace up Eau Rouge with the Force India and down Kemmel Straight.
Got to go for Eau Rouge. Oh!
Yeah, very neat and tidy there from Giuseppe. DRS open, goes up Kemmel Straight, approaching the end of Sector 1. And it's a 30.6. Oh, misses the corner, the apex slightly at turn 5, but he hugs it well at turn 7, runs down the Halte Rivage, slightly off the apex at Rivage.
Oh, he does it beautifully around them corners there, Craig. But will Giuseppe do it well around the fast left-hand corner? Oh, he's got
Yeah, very neat and tidy there, Mark, through Pouillon. Looking very, very aggressive and very comfortable at the moment in the Force India. Very neat and tidy through turns 12 and 13, coming down to Stavolo, turn 14 onto 15, and then he'll run up through Blanchimont, turns 16 and 17 towards the bus stop chicane.
Yeah, he won't have his BFH with his bus fare home after this, but he needs to go and do the spot on. He comes up the bus stop chicane now. Oh, he might do a 46. Oh, as long as he doesn't.
Oh, he's bailed out of it. He's bailed out of it. He's actually looked at his delta and decided against it. And I don't think he's going to have any time to come back on track. So at the moment on an outlap is Fasco, Nick Thompson, Betrayer, MJ Coop just starts his hot lap. We've got McLugby coming through Blanchimont. He looks very slow, so possibly made a mistake early on. Core Tactics comes through the bus stop chicane. Onto the final straight. Can he improve on 6th? He's down with a 147.3. So comes through La Source, lets the car run wide, approaches Eau Rouge. The McLaren certainly down in pace with the cars round about him, but Core Tactics will be looking to drag any performance out of it, and that's a Williams actually off.
Let's go!
Yeah, I think that was Saab that actually retired at the exit of Eau Rouge as well, Malk. So Core Tactics sets a 31 second Sector 1, and that's certainly, it's a 31.2, and that's certainly down on cars with the Mercedes power unit. So he's going to have to make it up in Sector 2, hoping that the McLaren chassis can pull him up from 6th and get closer to Betrayer, currently holding on to 4th.
Will you see a shock in to get pole tonight, Craig, or do you think that's what you're going to see at the last minute?
Certainly think MJ Coop's going to be a very hard competitor to take off provisional pole with 18 seconds remaining of the session. He's got a healthy lead over Fascone and the other Ferrari, so 0.6 of a second is going to be very tough to dislodge.
Yeah, it's going to be very tough here, but oh my god, I'm watching Nick and Betrayer but try to get intense moments here. Nick will cross the line first.
Sorry to
Rossi
interrupt you there,
has
Mark, but Co Tactics moves up to 4th, so he takes 4th from Betrayer. Betrayer moves down to 5th, but Betrayer's actually on a hot lap, and that is vital for the Drivers' Championship.
Meg Lugpace moved up to 3rd, which dropped everyone else down, but Nick on the bus stop chicane, he got to get it spot on.
Yeah, he's currently in 4th. He's currently in 4th with a 46.6. Oh, he moves up to 3rd, so it's a 46 dead. So Nick Thompson will start on the clean side of the track. But where is Betrayer? Betrayer moves up to 4th, and that's eventually dropping Co Tactics back down to 7th. So Betrayer retakes control in the Belgian Grand Prix over championship contender Co Tactics.
Yeah, oh my God, Craig, this is going to be very intense moments here.
And certainly at this stage of the season, Malk, you cannot afford to make any mistakes. Every point is vital.
No, you can't, but the lad just moved up to 7th. That was a good lap from him, and this was brought right down for quarter 8.
Well, MJ Coop's just come in to complete his hot lap. Currently in pole position, a 45.3 can he improve? Oh, I don't think he did. I don't think he improved, but that doesn't matter because he has pole. MJ Coop has pole for the Belgian Grand Prix.
Could you say that again, please?
MJ Coop has pole in the Belgian Grand Prix. So your final classifications for qualifying: MJ Coop does take pole, followed by a Ferrari of fast going. So it's a Ferrari 1-2. Nick Thompson is in 3rd, Betrayer 4th, McLugby 5th, Nicky 6th, Delange 7th, Co Tactics 8th, Notorious 9th, Mike 10th, or Spud 11th with Rossi in 12th, Nitro Gash unable to set a time, as well as Saab and Giuseppe, who will start at the back of the track.
Oh my. That is all.
We do look as if we're going to start in dry conditions, but the big question is, when will the rain appear?
Let's put the bets on, Craig. Let's put the bets on. What lap do you reckon it will kick off with the light rain?
Well, just looking at some of the tyre strategies from the drivers, I think it could possibly come lap 6 or 7, and that's why they've went for the ultra softs. If it was going to be later, I would have expected the Ferrari drivers to have opted for the super softs going later into the race. So I think the rain will come early, Mark.
Okay. I reckon, because it's a 22 lap race, I reckon lap 12.
Okay. And certainly for all those that have joined us tonight, if you feel the rain's going to come earlier or later, then please cast your predictions on the live stream chat. And certainly we hope to hear your predictions of the race, your top 3 drivers and possibly fastest lap.
I was going to say, there's no bully special prizes here tonight, guys. It's just pure guessing, isn't it, tonight, Craig?
Well, Captain Stiff, quick prediction from him, saying that some of the lads have got some cracking laps in there, but his money is in Nick. So Captain Stiff believing that Nick Thompson is favourite to win the race.
Who do you reckon will be the top 3 for your side then?
Oh, I can't see past MJ Coop bringing home the victory. He's in a strong position on pole. He's on the clean side of the track, and he will start on the inside, so he can certainly control the turn in through La Source. And if he comes through turn 1 ahead of the pack, then he can just disappear into the distance. Of course, he will have strong competition with the fellow Ferrari driver Fast Going, but Nick Thompson's certainly a quick driver as well, starting in the Renault on the clean side of the track as well. Yeah, so I'll go for MJ Coop for the win, Nick Thompson in second, and I'll go for Nicky for P3.
Okay. I reckon Nick to win, MJ Coop second, This is going to be tough between Betrayer and McLumpy because McLumpy is doing really well the last few races as well as Betrayer. Betrayer's on form at the minute, so I'm going to go with Betrayer third. So,
Okay.
so just, this is going to be very intense moments. Looking at the tyre strategies as well, Craig. 3 people are on the soft tyre and 2 people are on the 3 people are on the super softs, but obviously Mike started it on 10th. But anyway, but it's just the bottom half.
Yeah, and I think that makes it really it makes it harder to predict when this rain's going to come. Looking at the clouds, it is a little bit overcast, but we do know that in Spa that rain can come very quickly, and it can be wet in some places and dry in others just because of the length of the track. Quick predictions from Lance Stroll, MJ Coupe for the race win, Betrayer for second, and McLumpy for the final podium position in third.
This is going to be intense moments, isn't it? I can't stop repeating it. It's just going to be very intense.
And I think when you add changeable conditions, nobody knows what's going to happen. We don't know how the Ferraris are going to behave in the wet. We certainly don't know what drivers have opted for a dry setup or a wet weather setup. Looking at some of the lap times from MJ Coupe, Nick Thompson, Fascone, I think you could determine that as a dry weather setup. So how is that car going to behave in wet conditions?
True. It just depends on their wing setup as well, how they may have changed the wing, like the front wing part.
Yeah, certainly we can add more downforce for wet weather conditions, but also change the suspension, making it a little bit softer, as well as the ride height. So we're just waiting for all the cars to form up on the grid. MJ Coupe will take his grid slot first, of course, having pole position, and it just brings the car to a halt. And we'll just wait for the remainder of the grid to form up behind.
This is going to be... you just do not know what to say, Craig, but I'll let you do the countdown. Here we go.
We have 3 red lights, 4 red lights, 5 red lights. We are go! Nick Thompson gets a great start from third. He's trying to cover off Fascone in the Ferrari, and he does. He gets up to second. Great move. It looks as if he's got the cutback, and he's got a great run. Oh, Nick Thompson's up into first. He's actually took both Ferraris through La Source. So great start from Nick Thompson. Oh, and it looks as if Fascone's a bit out of shape in Eau Rouge, and he's coming under pressure from Betrayer coming up Kemmel Straight.
Yeah, there was a while you was watching that, Craig, there was a few incidents going on the back of the grid. I think I saw the Tories going wide. Mike's moved up to 9th.
Oh, just as you were saying that, MJ Coupe goes deep at the end of Kemmel Straight, and I think he just missed Nick Thompson. Yeah, went deep in Lecombe.
Oh my god. This is... Oh, we just do not know what to say. We've got Core closing on Delange.
Yes, yeah, Nick Thompson as well, Mark, starting to open up the gap. Half a second now to MJ Coupe, and he'll be looking to break that DRS zone. But as you were saying, there's action up and down the grid.
It is indeed. But we've got Nicky closing on the McLumpy. Oh, he saw the outside of it there. But, oh my god! Oh, what an overtake!
Oh, Delange runs wide!
Oh, what a move from Nicky! Oh, I am so sorry, Craig. I didn't mean to interrupt there, but we've got 4 cars.
Not at all. Oh, Delange is really struggling to keep the car on track, and he's got core tactics in McLaren. Have a little look up the inside at the bus stop chicane, but Delange has the inside for turn 19 and is able to go defensive.
Yeah, Rossi, I don't know what happened to him, but he has dropped way down the pecking order now.
It's the same with Mike. We don't actually know what happened. He dropped down to 15th. He's now overtaken the Tories and moves back up to 14th.
I can explain that one, Craig. While you was watching the top half of the barrel, you know when you pass El Rouge, coming up to the end of the first sector, you've got that right-left section. Michael's on the left-hand side, like the inside of the second turn of that left-right stop. Sorry, right-left. I think he caught Ross's car and he lost the car of it. So that's what's happened there, Craig. But you might see it afterwards anyway. I'm rubbish with explanations here, but oh my God, we got MJ Coupe closing in on Nick Thompson now.
And what's also vital for the Drivers' Championship is COD Tactics stuck down in 8th while Betrayer is up in 4th. So that is playing into Betrayer's hands at the moment.
It is indeed. We have got the Nicky train in a bit because I swear there was like loads of cars behind then, and there still is. We've got Giuseppe closing in on Saab for 11th place.
And you've got MJ Coupe struggling to find a way past Nick Thompson as we come through Blanchimont. He has to be aware that Fast Score is going to pop. Oh, it tries to look on the inside, going through Blanchimont as we approach the bus stop chicane.
Whoa! Fast Score?
Yeah, it looks like Fast Score went deep at the entrance of the bus stop chicane, and he's managed to recover it, but that allows Betrayer to edge in ever closer as Nick Thompson sets the fastest lap.
Yeah, he has, but got Nitro and Spud coming to the first corner now.
Yeah, Nitro Gas had the better entry and exit to the source, but Sir Spud in the Force India looking to use that Mercedes power to open up the gap to Nitro Gas slightly behind.
Yeah, I just saw a glimpse of Giuseppe passing Saab.
Betrayer looking for a run onto Fast Score as we approach Lacombe with DRS. Fast Score too far ahead though.
Oh, call passing Spud. Spud, I don't know what's happened to him, but we might lose out to Nitrocash. Oh my God. Oh, this is intense. This is grand. Oh, I love this performance league, Craig.
Oh, Nick Thompson's lost out to MJ Coupe. MJ Coupe gets it in the run down of Pouillon. So MJ Coupe moves back up to P1.
Yeah, he's good. Oh, he's nearly lost it there, but Nitro Gas is. Oh, what a move from Nitro. But we got Meg Lumpy to launch. Guys, stop! We need to show one battle at a time.
And you've also got Fast Score all over the back of Nick Thompson as well as we come through Blanchimont. So Nick Thompson could move from first to third in a matter of minutes.
Yeah, you just do not know what to say next. I don't know if Nick should have the DRS. Yes, he has.
And after that overtake of Sir Spud, Nitrogas starting to rein in. COD Tactics for 8th with Meg Lugby slightly ahead in 7th.
Yeah, you just don't know what to say anymore, do you, Craig, after that?
So MJ Coupe currently holding on to half a second lead at the moment, going through Kemmel Straight. Nick Thompson will have DRS, but can he catch that Ferrari as we approach Lacombe? He's closer, but I just can't get close enough.
Oh, Saab, El Rouge. He lost the car, El Rouge.
Yeah, lost it in qualifying at Eau Rouge and now lost it in the race, so really struggling with the Williams, which has resulted in retirement.
Saab has left the session. Oh, Galanche went wide there. This is maybe Meg Lumpy into it. Oh, Meg Lumpy.
Yeah, all over the back of Delange as we approach Pouillon. It's going to be who's going to bear downforce, who can hold the more power coming through, and it looks as if it's Meg Lugby starting to close in Delange as we approach turns 12 and 13.
Craig, I'm sorry to disappoint you on this, but MJ Cooper's dropped down from first to fifth out of a few corners.
Yeah, I think that's a big mistake he's made. That moves Nick Thompson up to P1. Fascone's closing him down through Blanchimont. They get 0.2 of a second. Will Fascone make a dive into bus stop chicane, or will he wait for DRS? No. Yeah, waits. MJ Cooper receives a 3-second time penalty as Fascone struggles to get that car turned in.
Oh, Nitro! Oh, I thought that was a great move from Nitro. You're just like,
Malk, it's raining. We're getting some spots of rain. We are getting some spots of rain on lap 5. It's all to play for.
I am sorry, Craig. I owe you a couple of cases of iron brews after this. Oh, let's go! Oh, come on!
Oh, Sir Spud looking for a run, and Nitro Gas we approach Kemmel Straight as the rain is beginning to chuck it down. Oh, Sir Spud goes to the inside of the approach at Lecombe, and it moves ahead of Nitro Gas. Oh, runs wide. And I thought Nitro Gas was going to try and dive up the inside, but Nitro Gas just remaining patient. Oh, Sir Spud having a little look at the inside at Ravage on McLugpy.
What a move!
And McLugpy looks if he's going to lose 3 positions because he's going to get mugged off from Nitro Gas and Giuseppe. So McLugpy looks to be struggling as we're getting as the track's getting ever wetter.
Oh, Craig, fair play to these guys. Oh, fantastic.
A quick comment from Saab. He's absolutely bottled it. He couldn't find a setup, he couldn't find a balance with the car. And Lance Stroll, he says that Mike and Nicky should have an advantage after last night's monsoon race.
Yeah, they should have, but do you reckon they'll pit now, Craig?
I haven't seen the message from Race Control yet to disengage DRS. I think it's still too early, but Nicky is absolutely closing down Betrayer, so Betrayer could lose P3 if Nicky can get a good exit from La Source out the Kemmel Straight with DRS.
Spud. Yeah. Oh, Spud! Oh, Spud, go on!
So it looks as if Mark that Meg Lugpit is pitting, but I don't see him transferring over the intermediate tyres, so that could possibly be for a front wing change. And he's actually went on the he has. So he has fitted the inters. So Meg Lugpit, the first driver.
Yeah, Delancho's lost it. He might get mugged up by 2 drivers.
Oh, MJ Coop looks to go round the outside at Lecombe, and he's got it done.
Nitro.
Oh, sorry, that's Nitro. Apologies, that was Nitro Gas, not MJ Coop. So great driving from Nitro Gas, and Giuseppe makes a move on Delange as well.
I saw it from the back. I was a Spud's car. MJ Coop. I think MJ Coop's lost a bit of his front wing.
Yeah, he's really struggling. He's really struggling through Pouillon, and Sir Spud just goes by him as if he wasn't even there. Oh, but MJ Coop looks to have a move. Yeah, MJ Coop looked as if he was trying to come back on Sir Spud, made contact with the Force India and runs off track. So possibly my prediction for the race winner is down the tube. Oh, Nitro Gas runs wide, picks up the gravel. Oh, and the exit of Stavolo.
But this may bring Giuseppe into play.
As we've got yellow flags in Sector 3, Giuseppe runs wide at Blanchimont. Surely this is the time for the crossover onto the intermediate tyres. Who's going to blink first? Nitro Gas stays out, so Spud stays out, Giuseppe stays out. Betrayer pits from 4th, that was. So first going stays out. Nick Thompson stays out, 2.3 seconds behind. Nicky in 3rd, 3 seconds behind with Sir Spud. And Nitro Gas with Giuseppe in tow, fighting it out on track. Mike moves up to 7th. No, he hasn't. He's actually come into the pits as well, I believe.
Yeah. Do you think it's wiser going now, Craig, or do you think they should? Do you think
I think it's wise to come in now, but as we're talking about that, Giuseppe runs in the inside at Lecombe and takes Nitro Gas, but Nitro Gas looking to come back. Oh, but Giuseppe's got that move done.
I think, is it true, Craig, that the soft tyre can hold the Reds a bit longer than like the Ultras and the Super Softs.
I think because they usually operate in colder temperatures, that they can last a bit longer in comparison to the super softs and the ultra softs, where they need to, or the operating window is a bit higher track temperature. So that might be why we're seeing drivers such as Giuseppe on the soft tyre having a little bit more grip at this stage of the race.
Yeah. Oh, Craig, we've got Spud and Nicky battling over third.
And you've also got Betrayer closing down, and Mike, disaster for Mike. That's 2 retirements in 2 nights in a row. Looks as if he's just lost the car under wet conditions.
Oh, Corn and Rossi. Oh, fair play, guys.
I've got one better. Sir Spud just went round the outside of Nicky and Blanchimont. I caught the back of it. What an overtake from Sir Spud. That moves him up to P3. Nicky looks to have had an issue. He's actually come onto the bus stop. It looks as if it's a puncture in the front right tyre.
Yeah, he's got a front right puncture. Now we've got 2 people battling out for the top. DRS has been disabled, Craig.
Yep, so it is a crossover. So Spud and Giuseppe could lose a chunk of time here because they have to complete 4.2 miles to come back round and go in the pit lane. Fascone is 10.5 seconds behind Giuseppe. So those are Spud and Giuseppe holding on to track position at the moment. Fascone, Betrayer, Nick Thompson will be closing them down quickly on the intermediate tyres.
Sorry, Craig, I had to make a quick drink there.
I was just catching the telemetry there. Sir Spud looking to be struggling. Oh,
the 2 Force Indians?
Yeah. Sir Spud was really struggling through Rivage. That allowed Giuseppe just to get on his gearbox and close him right down. Will it make him through Puyo on the sides against it? So both Force Indies being allowed to fight at this stage of the race.
This may bring Fascone and Betrayer into play in a bit.
Yeah, Fascone runs slightly wide at Puyo, and that allows Betrayer to rein him in slightly. The gap now 0.2 of a second. But Giuseppe's just hanging on the rear tyre of Sir Spud, and what's going to be absolutely vital here is who comes into the pits first. Giuseppe, possibly aware of this, he's desperate to get past Sir Spud, and he won't want to be double stacked. Oh, he's having a little look through the inside of Blanchimont. Sir Spud covers it off, runs wide at exit, but Giuseppe can just take that pace through. So certainly advantage, and that was vital for Giuseppe as he slides at the exit bus stop chicane.
Oh, Spud.
So Sir Spud loses control of the car. Fascone moves up to P2. Betrayer will take third with Nick Thompson slightly behind in P4. So disaster for Spud, who's really struggling for grip, and because of that loss of traction, loss of control, he has to get round the track again.
I don't know if it's because Giuseppe went into the pits first. He would have double stacked, and I think he would have lost a bit of time, but at least he would have been on the correct tyres at the end.
And Betrayer's starting to rein in Fascone as well. So Betrayer certainly having the better time of it on wet conditions. Gap now 0.8 of a second, but we have a hard charging Renault of Nick Thompson currently in third, 1.6 seconds behind.
Yeah, Delange on the soft?
Well, on my screen I've got Delange on soft on the front and super softs in the rear. So a combination set up for Delange at the moment. Yeah, both Force Indies continue to battle along with the Red Bull of Nitro Gas as we come through Stavolo, I believe that was.
Nitro!
Right, sorry, yeah, I was down at Rivage. So at Ravage, both Force India is continuing to battle and Nitro Gas and the Red Bull getting caught up in that.
I'm surprised. Oh no, I just got a 5-second go stop penalty for corner cutting game for one place. Do you think Delange and Core can keep the soft tire and make Lugby keeping the soft tire till the end?
Honestly don't know how they can. As Core Tactics runs wide, so on the soft tyre he runs wide and he has to pit for the inters unless they feel that the rain is going to be on a short window. So Nicky all over the back of Nitro Gas as we come through Blanchimont, and Nicky has to lift to keep it on track. That allows Nitro Gas to open up the gap slightly as we come through the bus stop chicane. It's all about who gets the better exit.
Yeah, you see who gets it as well. But with Nitro Gas and the Red Bull car, get you that bit of an extra boost with the car as well. But it looks like, Sector 3, Notorious.
Yeah.
Coming out to the bus shop chicane.
Big crash there for Notorious, possibly losing it at the exit of Blanchimont, possibly carrying too much pace. But Sir Spud deciding to stay out on track on the supers with Delange behind on the softs. Sir Spud runs, he cuts the corner. Eau Rouge, yellow flag, sector 1 and 3, and there's a slow moving car, and that's Core Tactics struggling on the soft tyre.
So supposed to say, well, thank you very much, I'll take that, sunshine, that's it. Oh my god!
And this is absolutely disastrous for Core Tactics, being in the championship battle with Betrayer, currently up in second, fighting for the win. So, a tough night for Core Tactics, deciding to stay on the soft tyre.
Yeah, definitely tonight there, Craig. But I just saw Spud doing the Michael Jackson slide on one of the corner with no name, I don't think. So Spud's gone wide. This is might bring the lunch and Core into it. Oh my god. Who will battle it out? With the dry tyres in the wet track, so Spud's moved on to 9th. These three should be the top 3 for the dry tyre situation tracks, not in the wets. But can they do it if they're being queuing? And I'm going to lose my voice in a bit. Oh, God. Right.
Yeah, I think Core Tactics and Delange, as well as Spud, possibly believe that the rain isn't going to last too long here, and that's maybe why they're running a bit longer on the dry tyre. They possibly expect that to come, the tyre to come back to them.
But they are losing a lot of time though, Craig, to be fair. They're losing about 40 seconds from the leader, 50 seconds?
Yeah, and they're running wide all the time, so any time they come through a quick corner such as Blanchimont, they're actually running off tracks. They're really struggling with grip. Core Tactics does come into the pits for the intermediate tyres now.
Fasconi, I mean, we haven't talked about him throughout the whole race yet, Craig, but he's doing a fantastic job in the lead. But before commentator's curse, he has been in the lead a few times.
He has, and I certainly think that he'd have learned from that the last time. I think the last time he led a race was actually Japan, and he was unfortunate to DNF, so doing very well tonight in challenging conditions at a very challenging track. So Fascone's certainly getting it done for Ferrari tonight.
Definitely. But the only Fasconi and Betrayer are caught to score a 3-second time penalty. The top 2 have not won a race yet, Craig. Have not won a race yet. Will we see the 10th winner?
Yeah, possibly. Please send your comments if you believe we're going to see that 10th race winner, or will Nick Thompson be the first driver to secure 2 race wins this season in the Performance League? At the moment, it's looking very strong for Fascone and Betrayer to score their first race wins of the season. But predictions earlier on from the pit lane said that it will transfer back over to dry conditions. The question is, when will that be? So it could still all be changed yet, as we approach or we begin lap 12.
Okay, another bet, Craig. When do you think the rain will stop? Do you think it'll be too late for the guys to, or do you think it'll come within about 5 laps? Would you say? Or is that a tough answer?
That is a tough question. It does look as if the rain's getting lighter. It will depend how quick the track can dry out. There is breaks in the cloud as we go around the track as Notorious leaves this session. I think it just depends how quickly we develop the dry racing line, and we could see a transition over to the dry tyre at the end. It'll be interesting to see if anybody opts for a little gamble to stay on the wet tyre and try and get to the end of the race. So we could see a few gambles yet.
Would you have done that, Craig, if you was in that situation, or do you think be safe and go for the dry tyres at the end?
I think if I was in Betrayer's position, I would stick with the more safer strategy. But if I was in Core Tactics' position, I would probably try and stretch the intermediates to the end, depending on what lap it transferred onto dry conditions. Lance Stroll believes it's easing off a bit, so he believes in 5 laps time we could see it over to the dry conditions.
Okay, very interesting moments here. You just don't know what to say anymore. I've lost for words with all the back. Oh my God, Cole! Nearly hit the wall. It feels like that's the Wall of Champions a bit. I know it's not Canada, but you know that corner with no name. It was just unbelievable. He nearly lost it. Nigel Gas pits. He pits for Supersofts.
So Nitrogas definitely believing that the track's drying, so drivers round about him are certainly going to be watching his lap times to see how he performs on those super soft tyres. So that is vital for the development of this race. Yeah,
Craig, it looks like the rain stopped. Oh no, sorry, it's just a little bit of a drizzle. Not as much for Inters at the minute. I know the track is still wet, but...
Yeah, but these cars will certainly clear a racing line very quickly. And it does look as if the track is drying, so we might see the dry tyres being required in lap 14, possibly lap 15. So we could see 7 laps in dry running. And Nitrogas could have put himself in a very promising position.
Yeah, I think it's about 22 seconds for a pit stop, Craig. So he might jump up to 6th. Yeah, he might jump up to 6th, maybe a few seconds behind Nicky when he does go into the pits. DRS is enabled, Craig.
Yeah, Cod Tactics and Delange wheel to wheel up Kemmel Straight as we come through Lacombe, and Cod Tactics moves up to 9th on the intermediate tyres.
Yeah, all top three drivers, Craig, have all gone into the pits.
And what is interesting is Delange has yet to make a pit stop, so Delange staying on the soft tyres from the very start, currently in 10th, and it looks as if he's only going to be making 1 pit stop. So Fasco, Nick Thompson and Betrayer all going for the super soft tyres. Giuseppe goes for the super softs as well. Nick Thompson right behind Betrayer there, so under the pit stop conditions Nick Thompson managed to get a little bit closer to Betrayer. Nick lifts slightly at the top of Eau Rouge, struggling for grip at the top of the hill.
Oh my God, this is intense moments here. Oh, this is unbelievable.
So Nitrogash moves up to 5th, taking Nicky and Rossi in the pit lane. Can he get Giuseppe, who's just came out the pit? So Nitrogash will have the heat in the super softs compared to Giuseppe, slightly ahead. Oh, looks as if he's getting a good run on Giuseppe. Does he have DRS? Not yet. Oh, sorry, apologies, it was Meg Lugby. I thought that was Giuseppe who'd actually come out the pits, but it wasn't, it was Meg Lugby. So Nitrogash up in 5th after pitting 1 lap earlier.
Don't worry, Craig, I'll let you off with that one. Don't worry, I'll let you off with that, to be fair.
Very interesting strategy call from MJ Coop. He's actually went on to the Ultra Softs. They should last those 8 laps, but it did require a front wing change as well.
He's going to have to avoid any battles going on to try and hold those tyres a little bit longer than ever before. Pascal's pulling away from Betrayer.
And Nick Thompson is actually all over the back of Betrayer as we come through the final turn. So the gap 0.6 of a second, and if Nick Thompson can get a great exit out of the source, he's certainly going to give himself a good chance on the run up to Lecombe.
Hey, looks like in the first corner he didn't get that good boost of it. But
Nick Thompson loses it, and it's a DNF for the Renault driver.
No!
Disaster for Nick Thompson, who was chasing a 2nd place finish. And Betrayer will breathe a sigh of relief, because he was certainly coming under a lot of pressure from Nick Thompson in the Renault.
Yeah, Delange has got a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. So the only battle we've got at the minute is Fascone, Betrayer, and Nick and Rossi. Rossi's doing really well, Craig. He moved up to 6th.
Yeah, and he's actually running no traction control in the racing line, I believe, the first time this season. So he's doing very well, and in the Sauber as well, so even more impressive. So good performance from Rossi at the moment as MG Coop receives a 5-second stop-go penalty.
3-second time penalty for Spud for multiple warnings.
So fast going actually alone at the moment on track. There's a 2.6 second gap over Betrayer for P2. I don't imagine Betrayer will fight him too hard, Mark, for the race win, as Betrayer just really needs to collect points and certainly continue to outscore his championship contender, championship rival Core Tactics, who's down in 9th, only scoring 2 points at the moment.
So this is the situation here, Craig. If as it stands, Fascone will have 43 points tonight. If it stays like this, Betrayer will have 49. Giuseppe will have 29. Nitro will have 34. So as this thing stand, if Betrayer does not battle it out with Fascone near the end, it could be that Betrayer will have a 6-point advantage in the league with 2 races left to go tonight after this.
Yeah, he's certainly giving himself some breathing space as we approach the penultimate race of the season, the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix in Yas Marina. Sir Spud pits from 8th, and that drops him down to 9th as Core Tactics moves up to 8th. So Core Tactics currently on 3 championship points, and he'll certainly need to push that McLaren to the limits to challenge Delange ahead, who's 12.8 seconds ahead.
You just don't know what to expect, do you, Craig, tonight after that? But fair play to Fasconi, he's proven that, and he's done the fastest lap, proves us all wrong. And now we've
Yeah.
got MJQ.
Yeah, he's certainly pushing that Ferrari. The car definitely working well under these conditions, and he's opened up the gap to Betrayer. The gap now 3.4 seconds as Giuseppe now claims the fastest lap on a 1:48.7 in the Force India.
Okay, Craig. Another question. Do you think Giuseppe, because he done that fastest lap, do you reckon he'll get close to Betrayer, or do you think Betrayer will hold on for second?
I think it's a tough ask to close down almost 9 seconds or 8 seconds, shall we say, in 5 laps. It's going to be a monumentous task. I think wait to the start finish line to see if he's closed them down any further. It doesn't look as if he's taking too much time out of Betrayer ahead, so I think that is unlikely that Giuseppe will get close enough to try and challenge for P2.
Yeah, but Betrayer's slowing. I feel also if Betrayer's slowing down a little bit from Fasconi, but this may bring Giuseppe into play little tenths here and there.
Well, he has taken 2 tenths out of Betrayer, and Betrayer has dropped off from Fasconi in the lead. Betrayer could just be taking the foot off the pedal though, just making sure that he brings the car home. He doesn't need to risk anything. He knows car tactics down in 8th on 3 points, and Betrayer's currently going to score 10 points in P2. So Betrayer just needs to bring the car home very safely. So no need to risk anything at the moment for Betrayer. Betrayer's certainly playing the long game. He's certainly taking into consideration that there's Abu Dhabi and Silverstone yet to race at. He just needs to constantly outscore his championship rival.
Yeah. We've got another close battle coming up, Craig. We've got Nojagash and Nicky. Nicky's driving like a madman with that super softs, closing in on Nojagash.
Yeah, Nicky's certainly flying in the Renault. The gap was 1.7 seconds. It's 1.8 seconds at the moment as we come through La Source. Nicky not close enough yet for DRS, but I'll be hoping to make up that time to possibly get a bite at that cherry in the next lap 19. So Nicky just looking to continue to close down Nitro as we come up Kemmel Straight, approaching La Source. Lacombe. So Nicky down to 1.3 seconds now, so he's almost within touching distance of Nitro Gas as he slightly locks up the right tyre, the right front.
Oh, Nicky.
Yes, he just ran wide slightly on the exit of turn 7 and picked up that warning. So a 3-second penalty for Nicky, and now a 3-second penalty for Rossi, who's still up in 6th at the moment and doing very well in the Sauber.
Yeah, he's done very well there, Rossi. Don't get me wrong, he has had a few unlucky races, I think, Craig, early in the season, but with a good momentum in the car, he is doing really well, especially when it's no traction as well. I think he said earlier when I was speaking to him, he said he had ABS on when the rain comes on, so it could be on, it could be off, I don't know, but as far as I know, he had no traction.
I think you're right with that, Mark. I think Rossi was preempting rain and certainly opting to keep the ABS on. Oh, Nicky's within touching distance of Nitrogas as we come through the bus stop chicane. The gap's 7/10 of a second. So Nicky can just feel that. He can actually smell that P4.
I can't. I can smell the commentary, that's it.
Nicky was a little eager there on the power. A bit of a slide out of the source as we come through Eau Rouge. Coming up to Radion. Oh, Nicky's beginning to close him down even further. He will have DRS. Can he get close enough at Lacombe? It doesn't look as if he can. It looks as if Nitro Gas will have the lead coming through Lacombe, but Nicky's Oh, got the gap down to 4/10 of a second.
I bet Nicky's thinking I need a rope now to catch up to Nitrogash. Oh,
Yeah, just come through Ravage. Both cars hugging the apex, coming through the corner. No name. Nitrogash runs slightly wide. That'll certainly compromise his time. Going the run down to Puyon. It's all about who can carry the quickest pace through here. Nicky runs slightly wide, but the Red Bull chassis certainly working well for Nitrogash as we come through turns 12 and 13.
Oh my god, come on. We need... Whoa! Well, look like Nicky was going to go for the outside then.
Yeah, slight lock up there at Ravage for Nicky, but as we come through Blanchimont, Nicky just getting in the slipstream of the Renault. Nitrogas moves to the inside, looking to try and break the toe, but Nicky just tucks in behind. Nicky looks to the inside. Looks to the outside of the bus stop chicane, trying to control the second part of the corner. Nitrogas maintains the lead as we come through the start-finish line. DRS active again for Nicky, but Nitrogas got a great exit from the final turn.
Oh, lock up! Oh.
Yeah, Nicky driving the wheels off the Renault at the moment, but it just can't get close enough to Nitro to make a move.
Oh, he's got good through El Rouge. No, coming for the DRS strike. He's got DRS. He's got to do this. He's only got a few laps. Oh my god.
Oh, Nitro Gas runs wide. That allows Nicky to come into play. Oh, there's a slight touch between the cars. Oh, Nicky has the inside line at Ravage, but Nitro Gas certainly not giving up. Nitro Gas will have the inside. Can Nicky get the cut back? He doesn't. Nitro Gas controls the corner. Nicky had to lift to actually get the Renault to turn in as we approach Puyon.
Yeah, what did you think of that, Craig?
Oh, I certainly think with the quickness, it's a bit hard to make a decision.
Because Nitro went on the grass, didn't they? Just or the gravel?
I think two wheels still remained on track, so I don't think he was completely off track. So he is entitled to come back on, but I think with Nitro Gas on the pad, the steering input is a bit more jerky and less controlled on the wheels, so that maybe resulted in the bang of the wheels and the contact between the cars.
Yeah, definitely. Benefit of the doubt, Nitro did have two wheels on the track anyway, from the quickness from what we saw anyway, but I was just seeing what your reaction was that quick from that reaction there. But don't get me wrong, Nicky Nitro, like that, Craig. That these two are like having a ding-dong bow here. Going up through El Rouge, he should have DRS Nicky.
Yeah, he's 3/10 within the DRS activation, so he will have DRS going up the Kemmel Straight, but he is running out of time. We're on the penultimate lap as we approach Lecombe. Nitrogas still holds on to P4, but I think Nicky has a 3-second time penalty. The question is, does Nitrogas? As we come the run down to Ravage, Nicky still behind Nitrogas. The gap now 6/10 of a second. Nicky currently running out of time.
Yeah, I know Nitrogas had that 5-second stop-go penalty, but he had that when he took his pit stop earlier on lap 12, 13 I think it was. But that's all I can recall, but we might be wrong. So as we're still watching Pascal is still holding on with 8 seconds, sorry, for first place. Betrayer in second place, Giuseppe third, Nitrogas fourth, Nicky fifth, Rossi sixth. Oh, we got on the gravel there from Rossi. Delange in seventh, Core Tactics in eighth, MJ Coupe, who's in pole at the start of the race, is in ninth. So Spud in 10th, and make Lumpy in 11th with Nick, Notorious, Mike, and Sab all DNF. I'll let you carry on, Craig.
Yeah, fast going began the final lap. It's the final chances for Nicky as we come through Eau Rouge, the top of the hill to Radion. Nicky gets a great run out of Eau Rouge, but the gap's 1 second. I think he just made the DRS activation point, but he is too far back from Nitrogash to make any move into Lacumi. He's going to have to get it done in sector 2 and 3.
I think that chance when the two cars banged together, like the wheel banging.
Yeah, I think that was the one and only chance he was going to get. I think the tyres are starting to scream on Nicky. He's certainly locking them up quite frequently now. So has he took them as fast going, crosses the line, and he is our 10th league race winner this season in the Performance League as Betrayer takes second. Giuseppe will come through the final corner across the start finish line and will take third. Nitrogash coming through the final few corners as we come up towards Blanchimont, currently still ahead of Nicky, a 1.4 second gap.
Yeah,
I think it's going to come down to penalties, Mark. I think that's what it's going to come down to.
I think Nitro will hold on for fourth, because I know Nick, as you said, Nicky has got that 3 second time penalty. So Nitrogash will hold on for fourth.
Well, that's a good spot from a racer, Lance Stroll. He'd actually seen that Nicky was missing the left side of his front wing, possibly as a result from the contact with Nitrogash. Turn 7. Rossi just coming through the final corner in the Sauber will take 6th, so great driving from Rossi. That one-stop strategy from Delange will give him 7th. Core Tactics should take 8th. Probably not the race that Core Tactics would have hoped for tonight. He tried something different with the strategy, didn't really pay off for him this evening, and he'll be looking to just get on with Abu Dhabi and Silverstone in the next few weeks. MJ Coupe, after securing pole position, will take 9th versus Spud taking that final championship point. So
I think
great success for Fascoin, securing his very first race win and our 10th league race winner this season.
Oh, fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I think Fasconi desperately needed that win. After all the times that he was pole and lost it because of the commentator's curse of us two, Craig, and he's going to curse at us after anyway, but that was a great win from him. And I said, will we get the 10th winner? You've just seen it, guys. You've just seen our 10th winner. I tell you what, do you reckon we'll get 12 different winners in this league?
I think
or do you think that's it now?
I think anything could be possible, Malk. I mean, 10 winners in one season is just phenomenal. To even consider having 11 or 12 is just unthinkable. But just before we bring the stream to a close, we just want to thank everyone for joining us this evening for the Belgian Grand Prix. I certainly hope that you enjoyed tonight's race and the unpredictability of it. And we certainly hope that you join us again tomorrow for the F1 and F2 league races and the mini championship that is actually on Sunday evening at 8 PM as well. So from Malk and myself, a big thank you for everyone and especially for their comments as always. Malk, your final thoughts for tonight's race before we bring tonight's race to a close?
Just a few actually. El Rouge, horror. Those are the 3 words with those drivers who have gone up the El Rouge, and it just proves it's like the World of Champions, isn't it, at Canada? But it's El Rouge. That deadly, absolutely deadly up there. And if you can't get it spot on, you've seen a few of the drivers gone after that. And Fasconi, what a brilliant drive from him, and he's done a fantastic drive tonight. Betrayer improving his lead in the championship. Still hasn't won a race yet, but still leading the title. So many congratulations to him. Special congrats to, I think, Rossi with the Sauber car as well, getting to sixth. I know if I was driving the Sauber, I would struggle. I would have been at the back, but fair play to him, especially with no traction and no racing line. That is just fantastic. How about you, Craig?
Yeah, certainly good race from Rossi. Did very well tonight in this Sauber. And I'm sure he'll be looking for an improvement car for next week as we approach Abu Dhabi. Certainly a track that relies on straight line speed as well as cornering efficiency, and that's something that the Sauber's certainly lacking in. But we'll wait to see what the allocations are for next week, and we'll see how the allocations certainly affect the championship tables next week in Abu Dhabi. And we certainly hope that you join us in Yas Marina for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, which is race 11 of 12 of season 4 of Invictus World Championships. Just want to say a big thank you to everyone that joined us, and obviously to Malk as always. And
thank you, Craig.
We hope that you join us next week. But it's a good evening from me, and we'll see you next week.
Guys, stay classy. See you later, guys. Take care.